Problem 3, parts 1, 2, 3, and 4. It refers us back to this cost information from problem exercise 1-7 in your textbook. And this was the information we used for the last problem, which we called problem 2, which is in your homework. So everything is the same, and now it's asking us to distinguish between product cost and period costs for financial accounting. Remember, product costs are value-added costs. These are costs that go into making the product. Period costs are costs that are incurred after the product is finished. Once things go from work in process to finished goods inventory, they're period costs. Prior to that, they're product costs. Product cost goes from the balance sheet to the income statement when the goods are sold. Period costs go right to the income statement as costs for the period. So, first part of this question, it says, what is the total amount of product cost incurred to make 20,000 units? So, we're going to need to go down this list and pick the pieces we need. So, I'm going to be referring back to this list, but I can't show it to you while I'm writing in the blanks. So our direct materials are $7. Our direct labor per piece is $4. And our variable manufacturing overhead is $1.50. So our variable manufacturing cost per unit, if you add this up, is $12.50 per unit. Their value-added cost, their product cost. Then, and I'm just going to bring that down here so the number is handy for our computation. We produce 20,000 units, that's given to us. So if we made 20,000 units and each unit cost us $12.50, our total variable manufacturing costs for the period are $250,000. 20,000 times $12.50. Now, our average fixed manufacturing overhead per unit, again, this is given to us. It's $5. We produced 20,000 units. So that comes to $100,000. Therefore, our total product cost is the sum of those two, the variable manufacturing costs and the fixed manufacturing costs. Total product cost, total manufacturing cost, $350,000. Now, keep in mind that the the fixed manufacturing overhead cost at $5 per unit is only valid at 20,000 units. I need to remind you again of our coffee cup example, the very first problem I asked you to do. The more cups of coffee you sold, the cheaper it was per cup because you were getting more cups squeezed out of that one lump of fixed overhead. Okay, now the next piece it asks us to do is what are the total period costs? Period costs are costs that don't add value. These are costs that go directly to the income statement. These are things like selling expense, advertising expense, all of those things. Well, again, going back to the same information, all of this information comes from the same table that we used in the last problem. The sales commissions are $1 per unit. The variable administrative expense, again, that's the first time we've used it, but it's still on that table, it's 50 cents per unit. So the variable selling and admin, often called SG&A, selling and general administrative expense, is $1.50. These are period costs. So we sold 20,000 of them, 20,000 units at $1.50, 30,000 units. Okay? I'm sorry, $30,000. And that brings me to a point you need to keep in mind that it's really easy to screw up things. That's why I label everything. Label dollars, label units, label dollars. Because it's really, really easy to mix that up. Now, we're going to make up a number here. And this number is going to be averaged fixed selling and administrative. Okay, so we're going to take the average fixed selling and the average fixed admin. And that comes to $6 per unit. And I say make up because it's average. Average is just that. It's an average. Remember the guy that slept with his head in the oven and his feet in the refrigerator? On average, he was comfortable, but in reality, he was damned uncomfortable. Average is always an iffy number. So our total fixed selling and administrative expense, 20,000 units were sold at an average of $6 per unit for fixed SGA. So our total fixed selling and administrative expense is $120,000. Plus our variable, because remember total cost is fixed and variable, so we got to put those together. So our total period cost is $150,000, and that will go to the income statement. That's a period cost. Now the next part of the problem they ask us to do, part 3, they say, what is the total amount of product cost if we make 22,000 units? So everything's the same. The direct materials still stays at $7. The direct labor still stays at $4. The variable manufacturing is still $1.50. So the total variable manufacturing cost is $12.50. So we'll bring that down here just so it's handy. $12.50. But now we produced 22,000 units, and our total variable manufacturing cost is 22,000 times 12.50, $275,000. Our total fixed manufacturing cost, and we got that from before. Our total fixed manufacturing cost, we came up with $100,000, if you remember right. So our total product cost for 22,000 is $375,000. And if you divide that out, you'll find that it's less. It's just like the coffee cups, because our fixed manufacturing cost didn't change, but we got 2,000 more units produced for the same amount of fixed overhead. And again, this is product cost. This goes to the balance sheet first, and then goes to the income statement as cost of goods sold, but not until it's sold. Okay, to finish up this problem, it wants us to look at the sales commissions. What is the period cost, and basically that's sales and general administrative, to sell 18,000 units. So the sales commissions to sell 18,000 units, it's $1 to sell the units. And it's $1.50 for the variable SG&A. And if we sell 18,000 of them, we come up with, I'm sorry, I lied to you. This is not $1.50, it's 50. That's $1. So if we sell 18,000 of them, that comes to 27,000. That's our variable SG&A to sell 18,000 units. Our fixed selling and administrative, and we got this from part 2 of the problem, we came up with $120,000. I'm going to bring this 27 down so it's handy. And then our fixed is 120,000. So when we add these together, our total selling and general administrative expense, our total period expense, is $147,000 if we sell 18,000 units. And keep in mind, with all of these, we have some part of it that is fixed, some part of it that is variable, so you can't just follow a straight line that as prices, as sales go up, dollars will go up. It will not be a straight line because there's that fixed portion that doesn't change.